What's going on, guys? Rag Smoke 14 here. I'm joined today by Oracle Flop and Spidey Ditko 64 for episode 10 of season 2 of the Smoke Show. Got a lot to discuss today. Two-time Formula One world champ Fernando Alonso fails to make the Indy 500. We're going to review the All-Star race. So obviously, they tried out a few new components for the Generation 7 car. I'm sorry, I keep messing up. I cannot talk right today. And we're going to give our thoughts and predictions for the Indy 500, the Monaco Grand Prix, and the Coke 600. So I guess the first and main thing to talk about is Fernando Alonso getting
Gets
bumped from the Indy
bumped.
500. Who called this coming? McLaren, a multi-billion-dollar industry, gets out-qualified by an unsponsored car. That's incredible.
Oh
Oh my
boy.
God! Going into the month of May, I never had a good feeling that Alonso would really succeed with Carlin Racing and Chevy, seeing as how that was a disaster to begin with. All three of their cars got bumped. Dude, what a terrible month of May for
Terrible.
Carlin. All three of their cars got bumped. Fred, Chilton, and Pato. And in which two of those drivers for Carlin Racing got in wrecks in practice over the course of the week. Um, every time we constantly see it in Indianapolis, most of the teams that get bumped are the ones that wreck in practice and they don't have a spare chassis to go to. And that's the exact same issue we saw here with Fred, as I don't think McLaren was actually as ready as they were going into 2017 when they were with Honda and Andretti Autosport. Now, granted, Honda engines were terrible back then, but I think, it only stings even more when Alonso was like, oh, yeah, I'm driving a Chevy engine. I'm not going to blow up this year. Oh, you're not even going to make the field, bud. Um, oh, God, this is just terrible. Like, I don't know why I'm smiling about it. I think I'm smiling about it because it was so dramatic and no one could have seen this coming from, 2 months prior. We actually thought Alonso would be one of the top contenders and outperform the equipment, and he gets bumped by Kyle Kaiser. That car only has green, orange, and white on him, and he's got no sponsorship whatsoever, and he beats a two-time F1 champion. If you ask me, if you want to put it in NASCAR, since that's an Alan Kulwicki story right there, sort of, in terms of qualifying.
Like it
So
would
that,
be
I think, to me, was awesome to see Kyle Kaiser go out and do something that special. And I think this is going to go down as one of the biggest bumps in all of IndyCar. Um, I've never been like Hinchcliffe last year getting bumped was pretty dramatic. Brian Herta getting bumped in '85, that was dramatic. But with the sheer fact of a world champion getting bumped by a nobody in his eyes, wow, that's oh.
it's a WTF
I think
moment.
if you want to blame someone for this, blame McLaren because they didn't have a spare chassis. They clearly didn't really come prepared with all the blueprints they had going into the month of May, and they didn't have everything organized for them. So I think it was ultimately on McLaren's doing as to why they didn't make the field. And I feel bad for Fred because you could tell he drove the shit out of that car, but wow, so dramatic. So I don't know what else to say other than McLaren fucked up real bad.
I know. Just I mean, just going into Indianapolis and knowing that Fernando Alonso was gonna try. Well, now he's not gonna try this year, but maybe next year. I'm hoping it's with a different team though, and not McLaren because I don't know about you guys, but throughout these past like in the modern days of McLaren, they just look like a joke. Not only in like F1 with the Honda engines and that just becoming a meme at this point, but also them missing the Indy 500 in 2019 with Fernando Alonso. It's not like if it was with some random driver or anything like that. Like I don't know, what's a driver you can name of like a Max Chilton or something like that. No, this is Fernando Alonso. If you have Fernando Alonso driving your race car, it's like a blessing in disguise. I mean, seriously, it really is. So, I mean, yeah, I mean, that was just so dramatic. Plus, holy cow, guys, we just witnessed history, though, man. Like, seriously, stuff like that. Like, I'm pretty sure this will forever be remembered. And I know for sure I will remember it for the longest time ever. And for the longest time ever, the one year that that McLaren was just too damn slow to get into the 103rd running of the Indy 500 and stuff like that. And going back to McLaren looking like a joke, honestly, McLaren's racing program, like, okay, I won't talk crap about their cars. Their cars are amazing, you know, and stuff like that. But the
That's
racing
kind of true,
program,
yes, yeah.
but the racing program is just a joke now at this point. I mean, look at their F1 program; they're not even doing as well. But okay, well, with F1, they're kind of going back to the top a little bit. I mean, you have Fernando Alonso 2.0 driving their car, and you also have Lando Norris driving the car as well. So I guess that's pretty much true. But I mean, like when you ask, I mean, it's McLaren, guys. There was a year, like 1 year with I think Ayrton, like with the McLaren Honda deal back in the 70s. McLaren basically won every race that year. And there was like three races that they didn't win. So I mean, yeah, I mean McLaren, I mean this is a big brand and they missed the Indy 500. And when they showed up to Indianapolis, they showed up as one word, and this is from Kurt Busch's notebook right here. I'll open it up. Joke. A joke.
I think
I mean, seriously.
If Kyle Busch ended up running the Indy 500 this year, I think he actually would have outqualified Alonso, which would have been a big statement as well.
Probably.
Because
So
Kyle Busch planned to go to Andretti, similar to how Kurt did in 2014. I think he wanted to go to Andretti and sign with Honda since it's a Japanese company like Toyota. But like you were saying there, I think, honestly, McLaren's downfall really began when they ran in 2015 when they decided to go with Honda, run Honda engines, and split from Mercedes. And it's part of the reason why Mercedes is so hell-bent on being dominant now in F1. Now they have themselves to worry about and don't have to use McLaren as a burden, and they don't have to constantly supply more engines, and they're able to more focus on their factory program for Formula One. And McLaren has completely struggled with that. They haven't even developed their own engine for F1. They're piggy-banking off of Renault, which, to be fair, to be honest, is not the most reliable engine. You look at Daniel Ricciardo with Red Bull last year when Red Bull ran Renault engine. Completely unreliable, and it seemed like every race he was having a mechanical failure. It was ridiculous. And I think McLaren has, over the years, not even just F1, but in IndyCar as well, have just plagued themselves. Now, I know the Honda 2017 issue was the fault of the engines being unreliable because the old aero kit was terrible and you really had to make sure they were good engines. But now that IndyCar is more of a spec racing series, I would expect McLaren to at least take a shit team and build it up from the overall experience of being a non-spec racer. I would expect them to find the tweaks and preferences they would need for a spec race car, which they didn't do that whatsoever.
yeah.
And if anything, they just kind of let everything slide down and kind of hope Fernando would set a great lap out there, which is not what you want as a team. Can you imagine if Team Penske didn't give Will Power or Simon Pagenaud? Imagine if they didn't give him good enough equipment, just said, hey, just go run. That's kind of what McLaren did to Alonso. They didn't have a spare chassis, which most of the teams, like Hinchcliffe's team as well. Hinchcliffe set a phenomenal lap, and so did Sage Karam. Did anyone remember how fast Sage Karam set a lap?
He was fast.
Sage Karam was great.
He was really fast
on bump day. It was amazing. And not only that, but like Alonso, you think about it in terms of his status, he got out-qualified by 3 nobodies in his eyes. And you can't blame anyone else but Mercedes. I'm not doubting Alonso's talent whatsoever. I still think, I mean, hell, you look at the Jimmy Johnson swap with him. At what? Bahrain, he set a 2-minute 10 lap in Jimmy Johnson's Camaro. That's insane for Bahrain. It's only 2 seconds behind the F1 car from 2013 with the V8. That's insane. So I'm not doubting Alonso's talent whatsoever. He's still probably one of the world's best racing drivers right now, along with, I would say, maybe Kyle Busch and in IMSA, I would say maybe or sports car racing in general, I would say maybe Madison. But like an IndyCar, you could say Will Power or Joseph Newgarden.
Pretty
Um,
much.
Alonso is still a great driver. I don't think anyone should be doubting him for this because he got bumped. It's not his fault. It's McLaren because they refused to bring in a second chassis and really put forth an effort going into the month of May.
Plus,
Like I
would
think if they
also
wanted, I think the biggest evidence was when they didn't run the IndyCar Grand Prix because you would think they would want to get some road course aero kit experience and see what the sheer difference is between the road course aero kit and the oval aero kit, so they knew what to set up in case they needed a background chassis. But who am I? I'm not part of McLaren, so why should I be talking?
I don't know. Yeah. So, and plus, also, I don't know. Also, I feel like one of McLaren's worst decisions was partnering up with an inexperienced team like Carlin. Now, then again, they probably partnered up with Carlin because when you think about it, Carlin is a British racing team. And what is McLaren? A British British racing team. So, plus you also have to think about it. McLaren bought basically a car from Carlin Racing, and basically you just had a lot of inexperience. I feel like people behind that car. Now, if you guys really want like a very detailed video, I really do recommend you go watch David Land. Maybe right now or after the podcast ends. But here's really
If I have
kind of
time after studying exams, I'll make a video on McLaren.
like here is one of the quotes pulled from David Land, and that is one like how McLaren were focusing, like said how the fuck is that?
My air conditioning.
It sounded like a
Like a microwave. But
I know.
Yeah, I apologize. I'm just trying to get some things figured out. My computer always chooses the right times to hate me.
That's
Yeah.
all good.
Yeah, so as I was saying before, the monster of a air conditioning interrupted me. Like how they were like they had the second like how they didn't have the right shade of of orange or something like that. I have to rewatch it again.
Don't even. Yes, we're not joking. McLaren came out and said that, we weren't fast because we had the wrong color on the car.
There you go. So
Moment of silence for the stupidity.
Wow.
Zach Brown is a fucking idiot. I couldn't believe it when I heard that. When I
Plus
just
also-
go through Twitter in biology class because I don't want to do my final study guide, I see McLaren Indy. Oh, we apologize for not being fast at Indianapolis. I think we had the wrong shade of orange. We should really fix the color next time. The fuck?
Go back to grade
Plus-
school.
Plus, also you got to consider that Zach Brown is an American. So yeah.
Good point.
God.
I'm sorry, but
I'm sorry.
I agree.
That's so stupid. Oh, we didn't have the right color. Fast.
So, just to end my opinion on McLaren, okay, here's the deal. If Fernando Alonso really would want to attempt the Indy 500 again, don't go with McLaren. McLaren, you can go screw yourselves because you don't know how to do anything.
I'm on the post.
I think the thing is that Alonso's under contract with McLaren as a factory deal. Whenever that contract runs out, he can probably sign with any team he wants, or even another manufacturer.
I don't know.
BMW.
But I don't know. Okay, if Fernando Alonso and McLaren were to go back to Indianapolis, maybe for the 104th running of the Indy 500, then one, they have to learn from their mistakes, and two, they have to partner up with a better team. Like if you you can stay away from Honda as you all want to, but pick a good team like Ed Carpenter Racing or Team Penske. Imagine if Fernando Alonso drove a Team Penske car, like with the McLaren colors, and stuff like that. And then, if they did that this year, then just imagine they could maybe win the race, maybe.
I think the only reason he couldn't
You know?
partner up with Penske is because of sports car racing, because Penske has a DPI program, and as you know, this is Alonso's last year with Toyota Gazoo Racing, so I think there would be some manufacturer but I don't know. But I think that's why he couldn't sign with Penske because I think Toyota was saying that he couldn't really go to Honda because Acura, if you don't know already, is an American version of Honda. Basically, it's an American manufactured version of Honda. And because of the fact that they're two rival Japanese companies, I don't think Toyota Gazoo Racing was going to let him go with Penske since they were associated with a different brand. But
Yeah.
I could be completely wrong.
So I mean, yeah, but if all those contracts expire, then Fernando should maybe consider maybe doing that one day. Or maybe here's something that McLaren could possibly should do. Maybe they should run. I mean, I'm probably not so sure they're not going to do it unless the schedule changes next year and there is a oval race before the Indy 500. But try some oval races, like maybe a Pocono or a Texas to try to figure some stuff out. Plus, hey, you can enter a regular IndyCar race at Texas, not worrying to get bumped or anything like that. Or it depends on which teams comes to the race at the oval tracks. But that's something that I feel like they should do. But then again, I don't know. I'm not McLaren, so yeah.
And I kind of want to throw this to the side because Rowdy, as I know, you're not, you don't watch IndyCar all the time, but I know you were pretty into it, especially from what I heard you personally about your school. HS Racing, I don't know if you watched Bump Day or not, but from an outside
I didn't.
You did?
No, I didn't. All right, I didn't even really pay attention to when it was, to be honest with you.
Wow, all right. But Rowdy, from like an outside standpoint, what were your thoughts?
I was just about to say now. Obviously, even if you're not a fan of motorsports in general, I think you have to look at, hey, this huge, famous two-time Formula One world champ, he just retired. He's going to try the most prestigious race on earth. And, he'd done this before. And now it seems since he's retired from F1, he's putting all his focus and intentions on this race. And I know I'm not the smartest guy when it comes to IndyCar and all this stuff, but I think you can summarize it with McLaren was overconfident and unprepared, to say the least. Like you said, I don't think it was a bad idea just to bring one chassis, not a spare one. Then they had that wreck in practice with Fernando. It's hard to believe that they got beat out by an unsponsored car and assuming, they're McLaren. They've won countless F1 constructors and drivers championships. And you would think that they would be able to, even if they're not even that experienced with IndyCar, at least be able to out-qualify, an unsponsored car. And what gets me is that pretty much all the Indy cars, when they're qualifying, they're going full throttle. So I don't really think you can put a lot of blame on Alonso because if you're going full throttle almost the way around the track, the only thing that could really affect your speed, I think, would be the arcs you get into the corner and how low or how high you get on exit. But I just don't think you can really put a lot of blame on Fernando for this one. At a track like Indianapolis during qualifying, I think it's all – I'm not going to say all about the car, but majorly about the car. And McLaren was just unprepared from what I can tell. And I think it's hilarious that they're, trying to scrub this off. It's comic relief. Like, oh, it was just the wrong shade of orange. I think that's hilarious and ridiculous. And I would be pretty embarrassed if I worked for McLaren after that because, okay – let's say you got out-qualified by an Andretti Autosport car and they bumped you. Okay, that's fine. But you get bumped by an unsponsored car and you're known worldwide for all these Formula One championships and you have a two-time champion. That's embarrassing, to say the least.
Amen.
It was so shocking to me because, we were all hyping up Bump Day. Like, oh, Fernando could get bumped. But when people were saying that, they were just, kind of poking fun at, like, yeah, right, like, that's going to happen. And then it actually happens. It was incredible. It's just, wow.
Nuts. Like, I was joking. I was like, whoa, what if Alonso got bumped?
Also, guys, I just have to say one thing.
They actually got bumped.
I also have to say one thing. Sorry we didn't bring our Kimoa hats, so...
Oh, yeah, I got to make my custom Kimoa hat at the end of the stream.
I'm just kidding. I got an idea. Hang on a second.
I will say this. I'll definitely watch the Indy 500. I'll say that. I'll definitely watch it.
Oh, yeah. It's going to be – this year's Indy 500, I think, is going to be really good. Honestly,
yeah.
All three races this weekend are probably going to be decent. Maybe except Monaco, but
I feel like what we saw from the All-Star race. I think there's hope for the Coke 600.
I think the
There's
600
Wacky
and the
over
500
there.
are going to be good races.
Mhm.
But
Yeah.
so do we have any
But
other
also-
thoughts on McLaren's embarrassment?
One thing
getting bumped.
Hey, one thing I just have to say, guys.
No comment.
One thing I just have to say, all right. What was I about to say? I'm brain dead. So I remembered. So any of you diecast collectors out there, make sure you get a Fernando Alonso diecast and a Kimoa hat before they all.
David Land said they were 34% off because literally that's where he was bummed and what his position was.
Yeah.
So Indianapolis Motor Speedway didn't give a fuck. They just said 34% off.
I was in Walmart the other day and I saw a few new 2019 NASCAR diecasts. I saw 2 truck ones. I saw a Matt Crafton one, which I really wanted to get, and then a Chase Briscoe Eldora win truck.
Yeah.
I'm just like, I'll come back for you later.
Imagine you go back. They aren't there.
Hello, darkness, my old friend.
Oh,
Yeah.
man.
I'll be singing that song.
I wish Greenlight had a local retail for IndyCar diecast because I think if I looked at those 2 aisles next to each other, I'd be like, one has good quality. The other looks like a Hot Wheel. I think I'll go with that.
I mean, it basically does. So you can't
I'm
blame
sorry,
it at all.
Oh my god, it's so hideous.
Oh, really? You think that? Oh,
Logano.
Let me please you again. Let me please you.
Ah, very nice. Much better. Much better.
Ugly.
I literally have some random cars with me right
I'm
here.
totally not trying to trigger Rowdy or Orca. Totally not.
Hashtag Tyler Reddick's championship was more deserving than Logano's.
Both fucking suck.
I disagree.
All right.
No.
Hashtag both sucked ass. Anyway.
Moving on.
Moving on. What do we have next, Rowdy?
You want to get Monaco predictions out of the way?
Yeah.
Oh, we got Monaco Indy 500 and Coca-Cola 600 predictions, and then we'll talk about the All-Star. Okay. We're going to do predictions midway through the stream. All right, done deal.
Yeah.
Monaco.
We all saw that one coming.
Mercedes. Well, okay. I'll be fair on this one. I think this year's Monaco Grand Prix is going to be more competitive than last year's and probably in previous years. I think overall, though, you have to look at Mercedes' season. I mean, they've been completely dominant. They've led virtually every single lap. They have won all the races and finished second in all 5 races so far this season. And I think they're going to continue to carry that ridiculous momentum that they have right now. And I do think that yours truly, Lewis Hamilton, will win Monaco. However, I do believe that both Red Bulls are going to get on podium. I don't think Bottas will be really a factor. He's not that great at Monaco. Hamilton is, though. So I think with the little trade Mercedes is on with dominance and all that, we'll continue to go because Hamilton will win. But I think Verstappen and Gasly will both get on podium because you look at the past Red Bull stats, they've always been a contender and they've always snuck into the podium spot and the winning position. So that being said, I think Red Bull can be close at winning, but so Hamilton's gonna win.
Yeah.
But Hamilton, I am winning the Monaco Grand Prix. Verstappen and Gasly will be on podium. But one thing will end: Mercedes will not finish 1-2 this week at Monaco. I'm predicting that.
Yeah. So. Oh yeah, Monaco. I really hate this race so much. I mean, I really do. Stuff.
I just kind of like to poke fun at it now, but
I know.
It's kind of like NASCAR at Indianapolis, if you know what I mean. How everyone pokes fun at Indianapolis.
I know.
NASCAR.
I know. I mean, just holy crap! That is just such a terrible track. I don't understand why. That is F1's crown jewel race. I mean, seriously, if there's a race that should be F1's crown jewel, it should be at least the
If you say
And
U.S.
then-
Grand Prix, you know that's biased.
No, this is not a biased opinion. I feel like it should be the British
England.
Grand Prix. Yeah, British Grand Prix. That's because that's F1's home racetrack. Plus, I love Silverstone more than Monaco any day. So I mean, yeah. So I mean, okay. The reason why I just hate Monaco is that okay with old F1 cars. It's kind of more fun seeing them, going around and stuff like that. But with the new F1 cars, it's pretty terrible, if you ask me.
Monaco, I think, used to be really good back when F1 had the V8 and the V10 engines that would roar. Oh my god, dude. The V10s in the tunnels at Monaco, it'd blow your eardrums out, but so good.
Yeah, especially the marshals that are like there, and stuff. So
they probably
Yeah.
had them deaf.
yeah. Now they don't because now they sound like a vacuum cleaner. So yeah.
That's kind of been a topic I want to talk about. Like, if F1 is like seriously still expanding in technology, I don't know what they're gonna do after the turbo hybrid V6s. Like, I don't know
Yeah.
if they'll go back to V10s, but like more fuel efficient or something like that.
Yeah.
I heard hydrogen fuel. So,
All right. So now, yeah.
what's your predictions though?
Well, I really want one day. I really want to say Ferrari, but I just can't. I really just want to say Ferrari, but I mean,
That's funny because
they've been
Ferrari's
terrible.
so many team orders are gonna end up wrecking each other.
They're gonna come off the tunnel and then they're gonna both wreck each other. Then Charles Leclerc is gonna hit that. When you go down to the tunnel, there's like a little chicane and there's like a
Yes.
big old
Yeah.
Someone is gonna hit that wall one day. I remember Sergio Perez hit that wall and he literally got a concussion from that. I mean, seriously. So
They're gonna keep saying if Vettel's in front of Leclerc, they're like, Leclerc, go ahead. When as soon as Leclerc gets at Vettel, go ahead, and they'll just be like, tee, like they're messing with them. Because I feel like that's what Ferrari does sometimes. Like,
But, I
Robbie,
mean-
remember that meme I sent you? So, do you know anything about race strategy? No. Welcome to Ferrari.
Yeah, I seen that. Yeah, that was good, accurate.
Oh my god.
So now here's a realistic prediction. You could say Lewis Hamilton, which I mean it's most likely gonna fucking happen. So what are you gonna do? So I mean, yeah, whatever. So that's it. Lewis Hamilton will
What
win
about
the
the other two
Monaco.
podium spots? I
Lewis
got Red Bull
Hamilton.
in both of them.
Well, yeah, Lewis Hamilton will win the Monaco Grand Prix, and I'll be sound asleep, and then I wake up. Wait, what happened? Oh, it's the Indy 500. So, yeah, that's Monaco out of the way. I mean, seriously.
That's Amy Hamilton. Rowdy, you got any predictions?
Insert very close-up picture of Lewis Hamilton's face and play the ear rape F1 theme song. But I honestly think Red Bull can put up a fight. But the thing is that they fired the winner from last year, Daniel Ricciardo, even though he was a good driver and outperformed the equipment. But hey, that's cool, whatever, Red Bull. And then Ferrari's just probably going to wreck each other. They're going to say, to get the most constructors points, we need Leclerc and Vettel to make the most contact possible. They wreck each other. Maximum points! But anyways.
I know. Dude, okay, the deal with Ferrari is that I hate their new team boss. I mean, I absolutely hate that guy.
He's an idiot. He made Leclerc stay out 30 laps after everyone pitted. He's like, everything's okay. Keep going.
Have you seen the dude? Have you seen him?
Hamilton and Bottas were right on his ass. They're like, what the hell is he doing? Leclerc's like, I think I should pit. No, stay out. Keep going.
Dude, have you even
though
seen
your
what the guy
tires
looks
look like a destroyed building, keep going. Like, God.
Have you seen what the dude looks like? Have you? He looks like a retard.
Got him there.
I didn't say that. Got him there.
I got him there. But my prediction,
Insert whip sound effect.
I'm going out on a limb. Max Verstappen.
I
Finally.
kind of think he could do it. It's not impossible because Red Bull is very good at Monaco. Monaco is Red Bull's track, so it could very well happen. I hope.
Yeah, I mean,
My prediction for the
okay.
podium: Max Verstappen first, Lewis Hamilton second, Gasly third. There we go.
All right.
Yeah. Plus,
can see
if Red Bull finishes a 1-2, they better go in that swimming pool outside the track and just jump in.
Oh
it.
yeah, when Ricardo did a swan dive into the pool, that was great. And then
Yeah.
everyone started jumping out. I love that. I hope more drivers do that. That was fun.
Yeah. So Monaco's
Well, I
out
think
of
of
this.
all motorsports, you gotta admit it. F1 has the best memes of all motorsports.
True.
They do.
F1 has the best memes.
No, dirt racing. You meant
Yeah,
dirt racing.
Dirt
That's
racing.
best.
I'll
Dirt
never
race.
forget. Is there a World of Outlaws race this week?
I don't know, brother.
No. You know what would make the Monaco Grand Prix more exciting?
If
Go
they
to the
put
Indy
dirt
Dirt
on the
track.
track.
Yeah.
Surely they're doing an Indy Dirt 500 at the Indy Dirt track.
No, they do it in that
I
little.
can't. I hope Hayden's watching this.
No, they do it in that little tiny ass sprint car track.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. Inside Indianapolis, yeah.
Lewis Hamilton still leads every lap and wins.
Oh my
Indy
God.
Dirt Racing 500.
It's
We
like
can't do.
F1
We do
has
anything.
everything
We
in their
can't beat
power.
him.
F1 could go to
Yeah,
Rainbow
yeah.
Road.
They do everything in their power to stop Hamilton from winning. They put him in a Williams. They give him Renault engines. They give him Goodyear tires. Yes, I say that as a joke. They give Hamilton the shittiest shit, but he still wins.
They wouldn't even give Hamilton a car. He just had to run the race and he would still win. Lights on, here comes Hamilton. He's already won the race without a car.
What the hell is going on? Hamilton's gonna win on his fucking feet.
Ricky Bobby sits to the line.
Valtteri Bottas is second in a wheelchair. He still gets second.
F1 should have a wheelchair.
Don't forget it, crutches. He's on crutches.
I would love to see that. Just the new next gen F1 car is just a wheelchair with an engine in the back. And then lights out and away we go. The disabled kids are going.
Shut up.
I'm gonna give me some tea and crumpets during the race.
I mean, Lewis Hamilton's
That
going to be
might have been
sitting on the
offensive.
asphalt, holding a steering wheel that's just a big Mercedes logo, and he just float midair around the track and win. Dun, dun, dun.
Oh my god.
Sounds like moaning the Halo theme song.
One theme song or outro.
We need to do that. Anyways, moving on. HS, any predictions for Monaco? I know you don't watch F1, but did you just say Lewis Hamilton to be safe so you don't look like an idiot?
Yeah, I was gonna say just freaking Lewis Hamilton.
There we go. There we go. Okay. Now Indy 500 predictions. So who would like to go first?
Okay.
See, this year's Indy 500 is tough for me to predict because in qualifying there were so many cars that were close in time. You had Carpenter, Pagano, and Piggott that were all close. Power was there, Newgarden, the Andretti cars, even Colton Herta, who was the fastest Honda. Like, everyone's really close in lap time, so I don't know exactly who to predict. But I think I do have one. I think Ed Carpenter got the pole last year and nearly got it this year had it not been for Simon Pagano and Spencer Piggott stealing it away from him. But I think the Carpenter probably could have won the 500 last year after his great qualifying run and having the pace overall over Power and Pagano. But I think the only issue was that Ed Carpenter Racing didn't prepare their cars for the long run speed, which is being behind cars and being able to maneuver around them and get their way up to the field. And from what I saw in the Indy 500 practice, it seemed like Ed Carpenter Racing, that was their main focus, was to get their cars able to pass others very easily and very quickly. And Ed Carpenter probably passed a ton of cars in practice yesterday. So, and Ed Carpenter's step was second fastest in practice today. So, that being said, I think my Indy 500 prediction this year is going to be Ed Carpenter. I think Ed Carpenter Racing once again has proved that they're really fast at Indy and they can really get things done. And I think that being said, I think Ed Carpenter Racing is going to be the team to beat. I think it's going to be Ed Carpenter that can get it done. Because if he ends up, like it's been shown so far in the practice sessions, of having that overall race speed, being able to maneuver through the field, I think Ed Carpenter will win the 103rd running in the Indy 500.
Yeah. You see, here's the deal with now last year, Now I predicted the Team Penske driver would win, but it wasn't the one I was actually going for. Now, actually, last year it seemed like in the month of May that and really for the for the Indianapolis Motor Speedway, it really does look like Team Penske and Chevrolet. They figure this aero kit out. They know how this track is going to run, and I think that a Team Penske driver can win. And he was the same guy that won the Indy Grand Prix. I think Simon Pagenaud is gonna win the 103rd running the Indianapolis 500.
Pagenaud's had a great month of May too. Like he won the IndyCar Grand Prix. He got the pole for the 500. He can very well happen, but I think Ed Carpenter is gonna have that race pace that he should have had last year. Because honestly, I think Carpenter led the most laps in last year's Indy 500. It's just he didn't have the ability to maneuver. And I think now that he's fixed that, and Ed Carpenter Racing as a whole has gotten a hold of the universal aero kit when it comes to making passes, I think Ed Carpenter is the most experienced, and I think he's going to do it.
Well, I really do think that Simon Pagenaud, it's not going to be easy. He's going to have a challenge between Ed Carpenter, I think, and stuff, and his teammates as well. I'm not so sure how Helio will do in the race, but, I mean...
Helio didn't look that fast. He didn't do well in the IndyCar Grand Prix, and qualifying, he qualified, 13th, 12th, somewhere around there. He just hasn't really had the speed in practice either. I can see him getting a top 10 at most, though.
Yeah. I'm excited for the race, by the way.
Oh, me too.
Me too.
Rowdy, are you there?
Yes, so sorry about that. I was trying to get the link to NASCAR over. But yes, I do agree with Spidey. We have to go with Rob's favorite driver, I do believe, is Simon Pagenaud, right?
Yep.
All right. Simon Pagenaud, from what I've seen, the speed's been there the whole time. He's got the pole. He's got a fast car. Penske, with Will Power, dominated and won the race last year. I just think when it comes to pure speed at a track like Indianapolis, you can't ever go wrong with a top-tier team like Penske and a driver with a lot of talent such as Simon Pagenaud. He's got the best seat in the house for the start of the race. I just think he's in prime position now. He's finished second in the he's finished sixth in the Indy 500 before. So he is capable of running well there. It just seems like he kind of has some bad luck. And I think this year is his year. He breaks through, and a good number 22 goes to victory lane in Indianapolis.
Good number 22.
Good number 22. That bright Menards yellow is going to win the Indy 500.
Rowdy, can you imagine if Logano ran the 500 and got bumped?
Lol XD got him there.
So, HS, do you have any predictions for the Indy 500?
Yes, actually, Orca, I do. I say, yeah, I agree with Rowdy. Penske is, I think, going to be dominant in this race, in my opinion. And I think, honestly, he won this race last year. I think that Will Power could go back-to-back Indy 500 wins. I pick him to win this year's Indy 500. But I'm going to predict possibly the top three here, or at least these drivers could finish in the top five, I think. I think Will Power could win the race. I think that Joseph Newgarden could finish maybe second or third. That's what I'm thinking. And Simon Pagenaud is going to finish in the top five or maybe even top three with his teammates. That's what I'm thinking.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
It could very well happen. I'm surprised Andretti Autosport doesn't have as much speed as they usually do at Indianapolis, but I think that's only because Honda isn't really the best when it comes to this universal aero kit, the oval tracks. But I think the best Honda has been through the course of the month of May has been Colton Herta. Like, Colton Herta, he's the fastest Honda in fifth or fourth, I think. So, Colton Herta could be a contender if he gets that really good initial start, too. So, I'd keep an eye on for Colton Herta. I think he's got something to prove as well. Plus, Harding Steinberger Racing has only got one car, so they could very well find a way to have race pace. So it could happen. But all of you are going for Simon Pagenaud, and I just disagree with that because everyone knew that over the course of the month of May, Ed Carpenter was the dominant car, and he continuously set the fastest laps. And that's where I just disagree with Simon Pagenaud, because Simon Pagenaud is doing what Ed Carpenter did last year. If the only way I can see Pagano winning it is if once he loses the lead, can he regain it back? Can he be able to maneuver through the field, which is what Ed Carpenter couldn't do last year in the 500? And I think Carpenter has got that settled this year, and since he's one of the top 3 drivers, I think Carpenter can genuinely win the 500 this year. That's just where I disagree.
Yeah.
Okay,
Well-
so what are we talking about, boys?
Indy 500 prediction.
Oh, Joey Logano will win it.
Oh,
Oh yeah,
how sad.
definitely.
Oh yeah.
Doomsday scenario.
Honestly, you guys know I hope Rossi wins, and so does Rowdy. But it's gonna be a Penske driver. I think. I don't know which one. It's gonna be a Penske driver.
Please say someone other than Pagano.
Pagano.
New Garden.
I would like that.
Danica Patrick is gonna
hell
win.
yeah.
Oh wait.
Pippa Mon's gonna win, guys. We know that.
Oh my god.
Pippa Man's gonna win the Indy 500.
No,
Well,
but
I'm sure-
I'm honestly
No,
thought
hell no.
that-
Guys, hold on.
No, here's
hold on. We joked about Alonso getting bumped, right? That happened. We're joking about Pippa Man winning the 500.
So before,
Pippa Man.
okay, I was actually thinking that Fernando would buy the Pippa Man's spot in the 500 in the Indy 500. To be honest,
It's also embarrassing that Pippa out-qualified Alonso.
Lol.
Since Pippa has been bumped twice in a row before. So, especially
Hey.
the new team, though, Brian Clausen Clausen Marshall Racing is a brand spanking new team, and they out-qualified Alonso and McLaren.
Hey, actually, I have a little
Whoa.
prediction that I'd like to say.
Yep.
Okay. Here's what I think. I think that Brandon Jones is, for whatever reason, going to sign up to see how he drives in open wheel cars for this year's Indy 500. He's going to
Go
have,
right down the straightaway.
somehow, he's going to have a huge lead coming out of turn 4.
Somehow.
And then being the guy that he is, run into the wall.
J.R.
And
Hildebrand.
No, so
That's
JR
what-
J.R.
Yeah, but
Hildebrand.
his car is going to be destroyed. Then he's going to get out and run across the line.
That's exactly J.R. Hildebrand.
Yeah, there you go. But in this case, he's going to get out of the car and just jog to the line.
why are we looking at Danica Patrick? Why?
That's
Oh,
gonna
also,
be your
guys,
Indy
you
500
do
win.
realize that
That's Indy
Danica is
500,
gonna.
bro.
Yeah, you guys do realize that she's gonna be with the NBC broadcast. You know, with the.
Oh.
What?
God.
So is Dale Jr. because he knows everything about IndyCar.
Oh yeah.
Well, no, the whole NASCAR on NBC team, they're gonna be there. They're probably gonna be on the
I
pit
hope they don't
box.
fuck up the Indy 500 like they did the Rolex 24. Because we all remember what happened with the Rolex 24. Oh, Philippe Albuquerque hits the wall. Oh, who cares about that? Rutledge, you want to tell us what you got? Sweet.
No, watch him.
Bum, bum,
No,
bum.
watch
If
him.
they pull that same shit like they did at the Rolex 24, I'm gonna be mad. I'm gonna run over.
Imagine.
That's
he's in the-
because-
he's in the snake pit, right? And then he starts to sing a song and stuff like that. He
He's just
tries to
gonna be
dive.
eating a hot dog in the last lap. It's gonna be like the 2006 Indy 500 all over again. Except it's gonna be Helio and Marco Andretti, and it's gonna be like neck and neck. Marco and Helio Castro through the line. Rutledge, what do you got? This is a good hot dog. Like,
Wieners up.
No, Orca. The only reason why they did that for the Rolex 24 was because it was filler and they were bored and they had to entertain the fans.
it was not boring. It was a lot better than last year's.
I know. I
Mm.
said they were bored. So they had to do something to entertain themselves and the fans.
Oh, so by Rutledge making out with a sloth and singing Sweet Caroline, that's entertainment.
Pretty much.
Especially, you know,
Hey, to some people that might be entertaining.
Oh
Yeah, it's a
no, look who's live right
five-year-old.
now.
If you're on a
Looking
drug,
wild.
if
but
you're on
a
a,
hardcore sports car fan and motorsport fan in general, I'm genuinely insulted that they did it like that.
They're gonna be four wide taking the white. They're gonna be four wide taking the white flag. Rutledge, what do you got? Oh man, me and the sloth are getting engaged in this little kid swimming pool in the infield.
Or
Okay,
no,
I
he's
gotta
gonna-
go.
And
do
also,
something
there's
for
a dirt
little-
race.
Okay, I gotta go do
Anybody
something for a little while.
remember
I'll
the
be back.
Ricard 400. Does anyone remember that where they were on green flag racing and there was a pass for the lead and then they just showed Rutledge playing golf? Yeah, anyone remember that?
Yeah.
Oh my god.
yeah,
Or how about the Martinsville pre-race? Hey Kyle, you gotta try one of these.
No.
Side by side battle for the win on the final lap. Let's go to the dirt race in the infield.
Oh no! It's gonna be a 3-wide finish to the end, and then you're just gonna cut to the dirt race. You just see, I don't know why. You just see Hayden standing there with a mic on that. We're here in the dirt track.
Got a shotgun on his side. See that school over there?
Oh no!
Stop.
Not on here. Oh,
Maybe NDC's broadcast won't be terrible this year.
I hope it's not. I really hope they don't.
Famous last words.
It doesn't matter.
That's gonna make the Indy 500 look like a joke, and that hasn't looked like a joke since what 96 when the cart ran a race at the same time as the Indy 500. Ooh, I believe it's at Michigan too. So Kyle, I'm sure, is silent about that. But basically, what I was saying there is, cart ran a race at the same time as Indy 500 in '96, and it was at Michigan International Speedway. And it was at the exact same time as the Indy Racing League was running the Indy 500. And that's kind of where IndyCar began to throughout the 90s and 2000s. But IndyCar is on a steep, slow recovery, similar to what NASCAR is right now, too. I think NASCAR and IndyCar are both on a steady recovery.
F1 is just flatlining, I think. I don't really think they're...
Yeah, but F1 is kind of flatline. They haven't lost or gained popularity.
Well, any last thoughts for Indy 500 before we move on to Coke 600?
Shall we go to Coke 600? Is anyone else?
Yes, please.
You know what? Let's see what the chat has. Let's see. Chat, what do you guys got for the Indy 500?
For the love of God, please.
Lewis Hamilton enters at the last second, wins the race. Lewis Hamilton, no, Pippa Man gets sick the morning. We need a replacement driver. Lewis, we need your help.
He does the triple. What if Lewis Hamilton pulled the triple? He races Monaco, then he races the Indy 500, then he races the Coke 600. What if he pulled the first triple?
Mike Harmon gets sick. We need a replacement for Mike Harmon. Lewis!
Mike Harmon ate too many burgers pre-race.
He's in the infield getting his insulin and lowering his sodium levels.
He's just trying to prove that even obese people can race in NASCAR and IndyCar and every.
Yeah, because they have so much downforce. They should be faster.
Yeah.
Come on.
That's why Bottas is competing with Hamilton. I'm sorry.
Ryan Newman, don't forget about him.
3-wide says Hinchcliffe. Ooh,
I don't know.
I don't think so. Like, yeah, he was fast in bump day, but does he have the race pace? I don't think we really.
That's a bold prediction, that's for sure.
It's bold, but I don't think we've really seen Hinchcliffe have like really good practice speed at Indy. It's an interesting pick though. Guess how many people wreck in the first turn? I'm gonna assume Pippa Man wrecks.
I have a bad feeling that Pippa Man's gonna wreck in the race.
She will, probably. All right. Any other thoughts on the Indianapolis 500 before we go to the Coke 600?
Please, for the love of God, go to NASCAR.
Wow.
Fernando Alonso wins the Indy 500.
I'm
I see
joking.
some disrespect here. I smell
Ah.
Nah, because with NASCAR, I actually know what to actually have stuff to talk about.
Don't be like me last year.
No, you know what, Ray? Just don't feel bad. Because if anyone was here, it'd be like, oh, for fuck's sake, talk about the dirt track. I don't give a shit about F1. Tom, where's the dirt track?
There ain't no dirt on the track.
You talk about Indianapolis, you never talked about the dirt track in the infield at Indianapolis.
Wait, there's not a. Well, okay, I know you're.
Yeah.
Let's say there's not a dirt track in the infield. If there was, Hayden would be just staring at the dirt.
Oh, right, my bad.
Oh, they don't have cow shit.
Anything can be a dirt track if you're brave enough.
Yeah.
Hey, anything can be.
I can imagine them starting the broadcast for the Indy 500. They go at turn 3, see Hayden pouring dirt on the track.
He just has a
He's
pile.
like, I'm trying to shake up the race a bit.
He just has a pile of cow poop, slings it on the track, and
Okay.
Superman. Well,
Okay.
finally time for Coke
3Y
600 pick.
Time actually said something really interesting. He said a smaller team will win by pulling off an incredible fuel strategy because it will always come down to fuel strategy in this race. That could happen. It's not impossible because you saw last year with Stephen Wilson and Jack Harvey. They had to pull a fuel strategy at the end, and I actually thought Stephen Wilson was going to win the 500, but no, it was willpower because he ended up taking 4 tires. American Racing TV says he's mad because as a Max Chilton fan, you know what happened. Yeah, poor Chilton was the slowest. What did he put down? A 226.1, I think? Something around there. He was not fast, so F for Max Chilton. You know what? Everyone press F for Fred and Max Chilton. And Paddle Award. Press
F in the chat
everyone.
for Max Chilton.
Press
How
F
many
for everyone
Fs?
who got bumped.
Right, 3 Fs. There we go.
I pressed F.
Hey guys, look at the storm that's coming.
Wow.
Wow.
How did the dirt track?
Right here, dumbass. It's right here.
Get down the dirt. Anyway, moving on to Coke 600 predictions, and now I want to talk about another thing. What's new? Kevin Harvick's pissed at his pit crew. Hey, I have a right to say that because look at my channel logo. It's okay. It's okay.
He has political rights to say that.
And I have the right to say
I do.
Kyle Busch is a word that I will not say on stream.
Why? Because Kozlowski said that, and freaking that's your logo.
Yes.
Well,
Okay,
I'll go.
Coke 600 predictions. I think we should have the biggest NASCAR fan, obviously. NASCAR fucker. I mean, love.
Hold
I'm
on.
sorry, man. NASCAR fucker, I love you, no homo. But no, go ahead. Coke 600.
Lewis Hamilton wins the Coke 600. Oh my god.
He does. He will.
He did really good in the All-Star race. Obviously Larson, but like, I don't know.
Timmy Hill.
Truex didn't do that well at the All-Star race, but he did lead all those laps in 2016, and he's my favorite driver, so can I be biased and say that?
Yeah, that'll work. Because
I
Truex
mean-
was fast at the All-Star. He's just got held back.
Yeah.
As is
Sure, I'll
with
say that
everyone in this aero package. If you're in the back, you can. 3Y asked, will Darrell Wallace Jr. have the speed that he showed in the Open in the All-Star race? I fucking hope so. I'm confused because Bubba finished 5th and had a hell of a race in the All-Star race. Where's the mile and a half speed been all this time? I'm confused.
Will Kyle Busch hit the wall for the 5th time this season? I hope so. I started a war.
Texas trying to gain lost track position. Smack. Charlotte trying to gain lost track position. Smack. So
Hold on. Wait.
I don't know about
What's
you, guy.
There it is. What the? My thing's being weird. Here we go.
All
Speaking
right.
of Texas, where's it at? There
Who
it
would
is.
like to...
I was just racing there on that. 15.
ass.
All right, though. Who would like to give their predictions first, though? Or second, actually, because Lover said Truex.
Yeah.
Rowdy?
I let my dad go second. Yeah, Rowdy.
Oh, okay. I guess
Daddy.
let's recap my predictions. Kevin, Las Vegas. Oh, Harvick's got the pole. He has a fast car. Doesn't win. Oh, look, Texas. Harvick's really good track. Runs 8th the whole race. Kansas. Oh, my God. We have a car that can win. Loose wheel. All-star race. Oh, my God. We can win. Loses track position on pit road. Charlotte. Oh, my God. We have a car that can win. Lewis Hamilton gets on the track, puts his foot out, trips Harvick's car up, hits the wall. That's honestly what I'm expecting. But Kevin Harvick, I said it before. Say it again.
Said it again.
Jesus Christ, if I keep picking him, he's eventually going to win, right?
Yeah.
Kevin Harvick, finally wins this season, gets his third Coke 600 win. Stewart Haas has had speed at the mile and a half. They definitely found something at Kansas, and if it wasn't for those issues, I feel like Harvick probably had that race in the bag. Boyer showed good speed in the game, but fell off later once the runs got in. He had a short run car there. Both cars had a lot of speed at the All-Star race, but Harvick ultimately lost that track position with this aero package. He needed more laps to get around Larson. That's something I want to talk about later because I like this aero package, but it just takes so long to pass a car. I mean, it can be done, just takes so many laps of running side by side and running a different line till you can eventually get a run off the corner. So Harvick probably had the dominant car in the All-Star race, lost track position because the pit stops, came back from like 16th up to 4th on the final restart, gave Larson the shove he needed to win. So I feel like Harvick's going to have the speed, and he's going to take that beautiful, gorgeous Mobile One car to victory lane. So.
Oh, yeah. Whatever.
Interesting.
Whatever.
What do you got, Chase Elliott fan?
Oh, well,
Hendrick being slow?
well, actually, no. Actually, not really. Okay, Jimmy Johnson will probably be slow. William Byron will probably have a good qualifying run, but then it's just his car is just going to fade away from the race. I think Chase Elliott can do okay. I'm not saying he'll do fantastic, but he'll do okay. Alex Bowman, though, I don't know. I mean, we got a good streak going on. So I mean, yeah. So I mean, I really want to say Alex Bowman can win, but I mean, I don't know though. I mean, I say that, and then his car is just absolutely terrible. I feel like that's gonna happen. I just feel like it's gonna happen. So I won't go with Bowman, but for our usual suspects with this race, I mean, Kyle Busch will most likely be good if he doesn't whine on the radio about the aero package and stuff, which I can't blame him, and stuff. But I mean, yeah, but I'm actually expecting a pretty good race for the Coke 600. I mean, yeah, through the first two stages and stuff, maybe it'll take a while to get going, but I feel like that around the end we could get a pretty good race, and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Like, like almost like Kansas, and stuff like that. Not like Kansas, but a similar race to Kansas. So who do I think will win the Coca-Cola 600? I feel like that I'm gonna. Now, actually, I was actually thinking about this, and actually, I could go with a safe pick like Kyle Busch or Kevin Harvick, or maybe even a Martin Truex Jr. Maybe,
Yes, Truex,
Yeah.
please.
But actually, I don't think so.
I
actually
don't either, but
think-
I want him.
I mean, I actually think that we could possibly maybe see an upset winner for this race, like Austin Dillon in 2017. I'm thinking that if this race, with this aero package, with not that many cautions in the race, I feel like that maybe if someone could pull off the right pit strategy, then or fuel mileage, then they can get the win. I don't know why I'm going out on a limb here. I think Bubba Wallace is going to win this race on fuel mileage. I'm going to say it. I'm calling it. I'm calling it. I'm calling it.
You're
I'll look like
fucking
an idiot.
nuts.
I'll look like an idiot, but hey, I'm proud to be an idiot.
Orca says this now. Next thing you know, Bubba ends up winning.
I'll sell you one of my games if you're right, all right?
Why? I mean, I don't have a console or anything.
Well, I say it because I know it's not going to happen.
Whatever.
Rex on lap one. Da-da-da.
I don't know.
Um,
I feel like that maybe that we're gonna have an upset winner. Maybe. I'm just picking Darrell because I mean, just with his performance in the Open and then in the All-Star race, I just feel like that it can happen. But then again, it's not really a full field with cars, and stuff like that. But I mean, I don't know. I'm just going out on a limb here, and I look like an idiot. Then, whatever. I mean, I just want to see a good race. That's all I just want to see.
DC Comics Racing pointed out an interesting stat, and I've thought about this before. It seems like an odd numbered years, 2011, 13, 15, and 17, this year 2019. Coke 600 seemed to always come down to fuel strategy. Remember in 2011, Kevin Harvick won when Dale Jr. ran out
Oh,
on the
yeah.
last lap, and
I
Yeah.
remember
the
that.
entirety of the
Yeah.
fan base was hanging by a noose at that point.
Yeah,
And
that was
then,
me. That was me.
Because Niall didn't win. So
Because
now we're
Niall-
hands of shit.
And then in 2013, Harvick won on. Well, he won on fuel strategy mostly because I think Johnson screwed up on strategy during that race. Don't quote me on that. Then 2015, same thing with Edwards. In 2017, Austin Dillon beat Kyle Busch on fuel strategy. We got the infamous damn it on radioactive. So I told you it's gonna.
You
with this
guys
thing
deserve
continues,
better.
I feel like
Watch it.
it-
Okay, just watch it. Watch it. Ty Dillon wins the race. Kamikaze around North Dakota. he does the same thing like Kyle Busch. I'm not gonna scream on my mic because I don't want to blow you guys' eardrums.
my
Already blew
room is
everybody's ears
secluded,
out
so I
during
can.
Whatever.
I guess I'll go next with picks. I want to say before I say my picks, I'm most likely gonna do a Hangouts live stream with some of my friends during the 600, kind of like I did for the All-Star race. So if any of y'all want to join, y'all can.
Click
But to
plug.
my picks, it's I'm gonna give y'all my top 5 picks that I have for this race. I got Kyle Larson. I think he's gonna win this race. He's looked really good at Charlotte. He was really good in the Open and in the All-Star race. He won the All-Star race. I think he's gonna run consistent. And I think he's gonna win this race. And my other 4 drivers that I have in my top 5 are Kyle Busch, Kevin Harvick, Martin Truex Jr., and I'm gonna go with Alex Bowman.
Truex is gonna win. Don't worry.
Oh crap! All right. Yeah, those are just my top 5 picks, and I think Kyle Larson is gonna win this year's Coca-Cola 600.
Yeah.
All right. As for the Coke 600, I think you guys are right because it's such an endurance race. It usually does come down to fuel mileage. And with that recent trend, like 2018, I don't think it's going to happen because I do feel like with this new aero package, since things are much more closer, I think we will get probably like a late caution of sorts. And I'm not saying this because I just don't think Kyle Busch or Harvick could win it. I'm sorry, Rowdy, but I'm predicting Joey Logano will win for the main
No.
reason.
Say sorry to me too, because I hate
For the
Logano.
main
Like,
Look, the only reason I say Logano is because Logano has had the pace at the 600 and has shown speed, and Penske overall has been good at the Coke 600. Like Keselowski and Blaney have run well there. Blaney was running top 5 till his engine exploded, and Keselowski was up there for a while, especially in 2017 before he and Chase Elliott wrecked. And at the beginning of the Coke 600 last year, Logano put a fight towards Kyle Busch, but Kyle Busch then took off and never lost the lead.
wait,
So,
Rowdy, why do you not like Logano?
He's a Truex fan, that's why.
No, I am too, but like, he's not a Truex.
That's a rant for another day. Because
Yeah.
it would take up an hour and a half and take up the rest of the live stream. We'd be here.
I've
till
already,
midnight,
like,
so.
for years, I've not liked Penske at all. Sorry, HS.
I don't care.
Or Joey.
I don't
Blaine,
like Kyle Busch either. So
I don't know.
All right, I'm going to finish my point.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
basically, what I'm saying is, I think Penske has sort of found a way to handle the 600 progressively as the years go by, and I think this year Penske, especially at mile and a half this year, they've been the second best team behind Joe Gibbs Racing. And I think at the mile and a half, they've shown great pace over this season. Keselowski won, He won
Atlanta.
Kansas and Atlanta as mile and a half. Logano won Las Vegas. And Las Vegas and Charlotte are very similar tracks. So I think when you look at that, I think you got to say Joey Logano for the main reason Penske has been probably the best team at mile and a half this year. And I just think they have the long run pace that they really haven't had in years past. And I think if anyone, I think Logano's going to be the one to execute that, especially in the 600. Since overall, I think he's run better than Keselowski at the 600. So I think that being said, I think Logano's your guy to go with for the 600 this year.
good choice.
Not my favorite choice, but my most realistic choice. Trust me, I don't want Logano to win.
More realistic.
But
Now
Spidey,
We're
Bubba,
silent.
I still can't believe you picked Bubba Wallace.
I don't know. I mean,
No, Orca, you're saying this now. Next thing you know, Bubba Wallace is gonna win.
I mean,
I want him to
was
win now.
joking about Alonso getting bumped, and we were joking about Pippa Man winning. We could be seeing the next step in evolution of humanity, okay?
what the fuck?
Well, doomsday scenario or not doomsday scenario. So Ferrari finishes 1-2 in Monaco. Pippa Man wins the Indy 500, and then Bubba Wallace wins the Coke 600.
No, fucking Williams wins Monaco. Williams or whatchamacallit, Sauber.
Sauber.
What Kimi Räikkönen driving the car, by the way?
No. How about Toro Rosso winning?
You have Danny Kvyat winning the race and stuff. And then in this interview, he's talking Russian. He's like, what the hell is he saying?
Yeah, here's doomsday scenario. Ferrari winning, like Rowdy said. I was going to say something different, but I forgot what it was. So, yeah, what Rowdy said.
What he said.
That's what he said.
So, opinions on me making it to playoffs, boys.
Oh, yeah. Congrats to NASCAR Lover for making the Smoke Racing League playoffs and beating out Tay and Red Byron by 8 points.
Oh, yeah.
Before we go on to the All-Star race, I kind of want to talk about two really quick subjects here. The quickest being Niki Lauda passing away yesterday at age 70. Oh my God, that guy was a legend, and I can't even. I think he's like the sole reason I think Rush is my favorite racing movie of all time. Niki Lauda was by far one of the greatest F1 drivers in history, and I think he deserved a lot more credit than what he got. He won 3 world championships and was by far, next to probably Ayrton Senna, one of the best Ferrari drivers in all of F1 history. And his rivalry with James Hunt it's basically NASCAR or F1's version of Earnhardt versus Gordon, if you know what I mean, or Ferrari or Ferrari versus Ford at Le Mans. Enzo Ferrari versus Henry Ford II at Le Mans. Like every motorsport has a rivalry, and within those rivalries, there's always something prestigious about them. And I think F1's number one rivalry was James Hunt versus Niki Lauda. And Niki Lauda went out there and he had virtually nothing. And he proved that he was something and he was able to perform with Ferrari. And he is, without a doubt, one of the greatest drivers in Formula One history. So rest in peace to another racing legend, Niki Lauda. So, yeah, I was really sad when I heard about that. 70 is like, I know it sounds old, but for nowadays, that's pretty young. So,
Yeah. It was pretty sad to hear the news. What you were saying.
Yeah, that is sad, and I'm kind of sorry to interrupt you guys, but I gotta go. I gotta go eat dinner and record a championship mode video, so I gotta head out of here. I enjoyed it. Thank you guys for having me.
no problem.
All right, bye, guys.
Bye-bye.
See here, DC Comics Racing asks, son, what do you think about Darian bashing our queen, Natalie Decker, into the grave? See, DJR Crosley isn't giving her the right stuff, okay? That's the only problem. Decker's a fantastic driver. Plus, I don't think Decker was really ready for trucks to begin with, so he can't really falter. So,
Oh, yeah.
maybe give her one more year full time in ARCA, and we'll see how she does.
Oh no, I would put her in ARCA, but going back to Niki Lauda, it was pretty sad news to hear, stuff like that, and just to think about how long he's been fighting, his injuries, throughout all these years and stuff. It's just incredible. He was just a pretty cool driver, and he was probably a pretty good person as well. So it's sad to hear, but I mean, it's really sad. So rest in peace, Nikki.
Anyone else got anything to say about Nicky Lauda?
Just rest in peace, a real legend, and it always sucks to lose someone that's meant so much to a sport. That's someone that's just contributed so much and known worldwide like that. It's just never good to see that. So it's good that he accomplished all those amazing things within his lifetime, so his legacy can live on. That's all I have to say.
I felt the same way when I heard about Nicky Lauda dying. When I heard about David Pearson dying, it's sad, man. Because Nicky Lauda, God, he was such a good guy, and he won 3 world championships. He was by far one of the greatest drivers in F1. So when I heard that he passed at age 70, which is fairly young nowadays, that made me sad for a little while. So rest in peace to a racing legend. Truly sad, but in other news, Al Unser Jr. got a DUI. Bump day. Congrats, Brian France of IndyCar.
Oh my God.
Where do I begin with this?
I have no idea.
I don't want to bash him too much because I think Al Unser Jr. was diagnosed with alcoholism and he has a serious problem with it. And I think the good thing about Al Unser Jr.'s DUI, or what makes it not as bad as Brian Francis, is everyone knew Al Unser Jr. had an alcoholism problem, and he knew that he had a problem, and I don't know where it comes from, but I believe Unser Jr. won the Indy 500 3 times. And he's, again, one of the greatest IndyCar drivers ever, and he's locked up in jail now because he got a DUI after bump day, after he also lied to the officer. So, and the worst part is that he also is associated with Harding Steinbrenner Racing, which is called Curtis team now. So it's always not great when you hear that a 3-time Indy 500 winner is in jail right now. So, oof.
I'm not as think as you drunk I am. I swear to drunk, I'm not God.
Yeah.
That's what they sound like, though.
I mean, oh man, yeah, people with, alcoholism, stuff like that. I mean, I feel like that those are the people that need more help than anyone else.
Dr. Phil has entered the chat.
Yeah.
I think
I mean,
alcoholics and mental health in general needs a lot more help.
yeah.
Don't want to get too political here, but in this instance, after what happened with Brian France and Al Unser Jr., think about it. Mental health needs to be treated a lot more than I think it does right now. So I think that's something that needs to change.
Yeah.
You guys could probably agree. Mental health needs to be taken care of more.
Yeah,
From a personal standpoint with my family members, yes, I do agree with that.
Oh, Jesus.
So yeah, just to finish my statement, I mean, hope that he gets better and yeah, just that's it. That's just what I just gotta say, stuff. Plus, it's pretty it's just hard, after Brian France. I mean, if there's any one out there that's affiliated with motorsports, it's gonna be especially hard just to hear something like someone in motorsports, got a DUI, stuff like that,
Yeah.
Another bad thing about it, too, is that it turns away a lot of sponsors. I mean, you got to think, I know this is NASCAR and we're talking about IndyCar here, but just think about the millions of dollars Busch and Miller Lite have invested in the sport. And if stuff like this happens to people that are, this involved with the sport, that could turn away a lot of money in sponsorship. Because doesn't the ABC liquor store sponsor an IndyCar?
They do.
Okay.
ABC Supply, which also owns their alcohol industry, is with AJ Foyt Racing with Kanan and Lace. So that could,
that could definitely turn away. And there goes millions of dollars that could be going into the sport and race teams and bringing in new fans out the window. So that's another negative effect.
God forbid we need another split. Oh,
eat my ass.
All right. I think we've covered that pretty well. Time to go to the All-Star race.
Oh yeah. Also, before we get into that, Kyle Busch won the truck race. Just had to throw that out there. Okay,
Yeah,
now we can move on.
No one cares.
We don't talk about it.
Look, eat my ass.
Spidey, stop.
Funny joke. Got him there. Anyway.
Stop. I don't want to see Mater. No.
Oh man, I'm on a drug trip right now.
Okay, you good, fam? All right.
Yeah.
Rowdy, how
Oh,
about you
my
lead us off on this one? What were your initial thoughts of the All-Star race?
Well, coming from a diehard Kevin Harvick fan, you can imagine that it's pretty frustrating how long it takes to make a pass for the lead with this package. But other than that, you know, I think we can't really, because this race had a lot of exciting moments, but I think that's because of the stage lengths being so short. And I think people just kind of ignore the fact, because when you look at it, even when you look at the Open, 15 laps in, Daniel Hemrick pulled away to like a 3-second lead over whoever was in second place. So I don't think this package is as good as what people are painting it out to be. I see in the comments of YouTube videos. I mean, I think it's okay. It's not great. It's not horrible. It's just, I mean, I do like the fact that drivers can get away, because you want that perfect balance of, you can't have a driver with a 10-second gap and then the guy in second still have to like be out of his dirty air. And then you don't want it to where nobody can pull away like a plate track. I think you want a good balance. I think this package kind of had that a little bit, so I'm impressed with that. The thicker splitter it honestly didn't really seem to make much of a difference to me, because it seems like, honestly, this race wasn't really that much different from the mile-and-a-half races we saw this year, such as Las Vegas, Texas, and Kansas, to where drivers could pull away, but on the short runs, they were still packed up together, and you see drivers get a bunch of runs and give each other shoves. Overall, I thought the race was pretty good. The finish of stages 1 and 2 in the Open were amazing. William Byron going from third to first within the last, 500 feet coming to the start-finish line, that was incredible. And then I don't mean to be the devil's advocate, and I'm happy for Bubba Wassering, but he did kind of put Suarez in the grass and kind of did wreck him to win the stage. But hey, whatever. It was an emotional moment for him, so that was cool to see. Definitely, one of the more popular drivers in the sport who hasn't really had the best of opportunities to have some success, even regardless of the outcome and how he did it. I think it was really good to see for the fan base and the sport as a whole. And then I think this is the first time maybe in All-Star Race history that the actual winner of the Open won the All-Star race, because I know before drivers have advanced from the Open but didn't win the Open to win the All-Star race. Larson, huge win for that team. They were having until Kansas and Dover, they were having an abysmal season, to quote NRF. I know he uses that word all the time.
Abysmal season.
Abysmal. Take a shot every time he says abysmal. But
No.
Good rebound. With that said, however, but good rebound from Larson's team. This is a big shot in the arm that they needed. And to add his name to the list of prestigious All-Stars winners, that's another good bonus. So I'm really thrilled for the Larson fans. I want to shout out to them, because they've endured a year and a half of hell to get to this moment. So shout out to the Larson's fans, like the Larson fan 842 and Kyle Larson 42 fan, who will probably be on the podcast here in a few weeks, for sticking with Larson for that. So I'm really happy for them. But overall, the race was good. It's just, it took so long to set up a pass. It was so agonizing. Come on, Kevin. You got this, buddy. You can do it. But no.
Yeah.
All false hope.
Yeah. Basically, all my same opinions go to Rowdy, a bit. So, first talk about the Open. Yeah, it looked like it was gonna be, pretty boring. Hemrick was just gonna go on and win the first segment of the Open. Then there was a late race caution. Then we had an amazing battle, for the win and stuff like that. Stage 2 looked like Alex Bowman was going to win, or maybe Daniel Suarez was going to win. Then late race caution, hard battle between both Daniel Hemrick and then Ryan Preece. I almost said AJ Allmendinger for some reason,
Oh,
but
God.
I mean, yeah, it was a pretty good battle between so both of those guys wreck each other, and then we had a really great 3 wide finish, but with Bubba Wallace, obviously I mean, just for people that were saying that was a dirty move. I mean, okay, for me, I don't care. I don't care at all. Bubba Wallace won something. Okay, he won something, and he should be proud of himself for that. I really do think. I really do think. So. Yeah, that was pretty good. Obviously for Bubba and stuff, and then Kyle Larson won a pretty, not as dramatic or chaotic, third segment of the All Star race. Then Alex Bowman won the fan vote, which I was actually surprised. I thought the Benedetto was gonna get the
He
fan
lost
vote.
it like Thursday.
Yeah. Yeah, I was pretty surprised. I didn't vote for anyone this year, So, I mean, yeah. So it's whatever. So, I mean, yeah, now talk about the actual, All-Star race. The actual All-Star race, was pretty good. Like in stage one, I remember there was a battle creeping up between Kevin Harvick and Kyle Busch, and stuff. So that was obviously looking pretty good. And stuff, and that throughout the whole race, I mean, just the restarts were absolutely freaking crazy. I mean, that's one thing that we will about this 2019 Aero package that is good. That's the restarts, and stuff like that. And the way that Larson, won the race, he got a good push from Kevin Harvick. He stayed there throughout the past couple laps. Then Kyle Busch decided just to hit the wall for some reason, and stuff like that. So we could have gotten a pretty good battle at the end. And then in the end, Kyle Larson, won the All-Star race. Clint Boyer started punching Ryan Newman on pit road. Honestly, I don't care I don't care if you side with Clint Boyer or Ryan Newman or not. That was funny. That was just funny, man. I mean,
It was Rock'em Sock'em in real life.
Yeah.
That's basically what it was.
That was funny though, man. But so yeah, Kyle Larson, wins the All-Star race and stuff. So happy for Larson. Hopefully he can win an actual, cup race. But hey, still, this is a step in the right direction for Chip Ganassi Racing and stuff. Plus, it's refreshing just to see Larson win again because what was the last time he won in a cup car?
2017.
Richmond ball.
Yeah.
When Truex got
Richmond, yeah.
screwed, but
Yeah, let's not talk about that.
Yeah.
So I mean,
Hamlin.
so yeah. So overall, I really did enjoy the All-Star race, and stuff like that, and stuff. So that was pretty good.
It was pretty Gucci. Anyway, for the All-Star race, overall, my thoughts on it. I thought it was probably one of the best All-Star races I think I've watched, at least 2010 and up. Like the Open was great. The only boring part about the Open, I think, was like when Hemrick started pulling away on Kyle Larson on the opening stage and just kind of was cruising at that point. That was the only part where I really thought it was boring. But aside from that, I think with those restarts to Bubba Wallace and having that great photo finish between him and William Byron, that was entertaining. And then on the last stage, you had Daniel Hemrick and Ryan Preece getting into each other, and Hemrick ended up wrecking out. And then you had that great finish. But I will admit, like Rowdy said, I kind of agree with Rowdy here. I think I'm going to play devil's advocate too here on this one. I'm going to say that what Bubba did was objectively dirty, and I don't think it was right. But I guess since it is an exhibition race, it's less bad than it would be in a regular race. So I think by that standards, it's not as bad, but it's still not okay for him to just blatantly give him no room and wreck him. So I'm happy for Bubba Wallace, though. It's good to see him have some success finally. And technically, he won an unofficial race. So he's the first black guy to do it since 1967 with,
Yeah.
Wendell Scott.
yes.
Wendell Scott, yes.
So that was awesome to see for Bubba. And then Kyle Larson won the Open overall and made the All-Star race. Bowman made the fan vote. And then the All-Star race itself was very interesting. The first part, you had a battle between Harvick and Kyle Busch for the lead. That was really entertaining to watch. And then Truex was third, sneaking his way up there. But, kind of couldn't get his way back up there after all the pit strategy that went on, which sucked because then he cut a tire and Kurt Busch cut a tire. Eric Jones had a painful night. Like he kept running. One minute he'd be in the top 5, and then he'd be back down to 15. Then top 5, then to 15. Because after that first wreck he had, he just kind of bounced up and down the whole time. And Logano won stage 3, I believe. Harvick won stage 2. I don't remember exactly.
Yes, correct.
Oh, it was Harvick. Okay, goody. And then the end of the race was really good as well. You had the battle between Harvick and Larson at the end. I thought Harvick was going to catch him. The runs he was making off of 1 and 2, I just thought were so strong to the point where they would allow him to make up time on Larson and pass him for the win. So that was awesome to see. It was fun to watch. And then at the end, you had the good old fight between Ugly McFatass and I'm funny, but I'm mad at the same time. Rock'em Sock'em boxing match between Clint Boyer and Ryan Newman. Clint Boyer was mad at Ryan Newman because he turned him in turn 4 in the cooldown lap. And then Boyer with his helmet on ran up to Newman and just started punching him in his car like Rock'em Sock'em. And then Newman surprisingly got out of his car fast. Yeah, that tubby McFatass actually could get out of the car fast. So congrats to him on. Oh, okay. I'm sorry, Ryan Newman, but no. And then Newman and Boyer just had kind of a little dick fight, ego fight. So it was awkward but funny to watch. Like I felt like I was watching a scene from Dragon Ball Z.
Oh, get it down! Oh!
Or die! I don't know. I thought I was watching anime or something. It was hilarious. But I don't know what to say about that fight other than I just was laughing about it. But overall, I gave the All-Star race a 9 out of 10. The race was entertaining to watch. And Larson won. So finally, Larson could break that winless streak, technically. Kind of like when Jimmy Johnson won the Clash, same sort of feel. But awesome to see Larson finally win something again. So
I don't know.
that was good to see. And Bubba Wallace finishing 5th was amazing as well. Let's not forget that.
Okay, I'll say this about a fight between Ryan Newman and Bubba Wallace. I hate Ryan Newman, so I mean, yeah, that little Shrek McFatass, and all that shit. So I mean, yeah.
Oh, wait, that was Tyler Rose. My bad.
Yeah. So I mean. And honestly, honestly, if I was a driver in NASCAR, I would really want to punch Ryan Newman so bad. So Clint Boyer made my day happy. So I mean, yeah.
Hey, got NASCAR on YouTube trending.
Watching and 10 likes.
Oh yeah, that's true.
10
I
likes.
mean, yeah, whatever. So I mean, yeah, I really don't know what they were fighting about. But if it's Clint Boyer wanting to beat the crap out of someone, it'd be Ryan Newman, so I was happy about that.
Hey, got NASCAR on YouTube's trending page for the first time since like 2013. So
yeah,
yeah, back when what was it, 50 Cent and
50 Cent and
Little, something like that.
That was it triggered a bunch of fans. #me too, but whatever.
At least NASCAR tried to get a rapper to do something instead of and grilling and chilling like those stupid Applebee's commercials. The fucking country.
I'm trying to find my Tony Stewart hats, and I cannot seem to find them, and now I'm sad. I have like 3 of them. Oh no.
Anyone else got thoughts on the All-Star race? I gave the race a 9 out of 10. I thought it was a good race.
I agree. Same 9 out of 10.
I was sitting there practicing for the league while watching it.
We'll talk about the league at the end of the stream, actually.
Yeah.
But one thing I kind of just want to touch on a little bit is that the hood ducks were added to the aero package. I didn't really see a difference. I don't think you guys.
It looked the same.
I didn't really see a difference.
It looked the same, honestly. So I don't know what's the
splitter.
difference.
I think. Well, it's a good thing Charlotte has turf because that kind of settles the splitter issue. But I still want valence NASCAR. So
DC Comics.
You can add all the turf you want, but I still want valence.
DC Comics Racing pointed out that the last time NASCAR was on trending was when Austin Dillon has catch Finch crash at the Daytona July race in 2015.
That makes sense.
Yeah. Well, maybe one day Kevin Harvick will win a race again.
Well, I
Legal-
mean,
legally.
you would have to think.
Legally.
You would have to think about it. I mean, that was the most scariest crash I think in NASCAR history. So I mean,
I would
No.
say maybe Lee Petty flying over the guardrail was pretty scary.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
well,
Back
one
in
in most
70s.
recent memory. Okay, I'll say that.
In recent memory, I would say Kyle Larson 2013.
I agree. I'm gonna say the same thing.
I think that because I think two or three fans were killed. I remember. That
I don't
was
think
probably-
anybody was killed. I think they just had were paralyzed.
Severe.
I can't remember. I don't think anybody was killed though.
Oh, I thought someone did get killed. Huh.
But didn't the engine go into the grandstand or
Yes.
something?
Yeah, and tires flew into the. It reminded me of the 1955 Le Mans disaster. If you don't know about that, look it up. It's basically
yeah.
where in the 24 Hours of Le Mans, there was a crash between a Porsche and Mercedes, and the car ended up flying over the guardrails and killing 83 fans because fire and gasoline spread everywhere. It was fucking terrible. And actually, France didn't let the sports car series that now is WEC, they wouldn't let him go back to Le Mans until 1963 because of that incident. So almost a full decade. So, yeah, that's what it kind of reminded me of because fans got hurt and things are flying into the catch fence, and that shouldn't be. So that was probably the scariest crash for me in recent memory because no one really got hurt with the Austin Dillon incident. So.
All right, boys. I got to BRB and look for these hats and things to show my Tony Stewart fan fanaticism. So my phone's charging. So I'll stay
Let
in
me
the
go
call.
get
I
my
gotta do it.
Kevin Moore Jr. merch. I'm joking.
I think we're almost done, about ready to wrap it up.
Oh,
Anyways,
man.
we covered everything we had tonight.
Yeah.
Pretty much did.
You guys want to make any announcements regarding the leagues, maybe?
Ear rape F1 theme every time I win a race.
But yeah, we
Smoke
covered the
14.
All-Star race. So
Yes.
that was our last topic planned for tonight. We
Yep.
covered everything.
Wednesday night are you guys starting yours at 6:30 Eastern time? Xbox.
No, PS4 starting at 6:30 Eastern.
We moved it to 9:00 because people couldn't make it at 6:30.
Oh,
So I figured if you guys started at 7:30 Eastern time or 7:45, you'd
how
have
about
it
8:30 Eastern?
8:30 Eastern time.
I think 8:30 or maybe 8:00 Eastern, 7:00 because of the main reason Rachel usually eats around there.
Yes.
So we don't want to really delay it. So I think 8 Eastern would be perfect.
I think that would be good because I don't see the race lasting longer than an hour for a 50% truck race at Kansas. And if you guys know how to drive, so there won't be a lot of cautions. So
Yeah.
I'm going to say 4 out of the 5 of you guys know how to drive.
Most of us know how to drive.
And then the Smoke Racing League All-Star Race, the PS4, will start at 9 Eastern time. And we're doing a similar format from last season. We're going to have 4 segments. The first 3 will be at the Bristol Dirt Track, the Dirt Road Course, and then
The dirt track.
the Dirt Track, and then Trucks at Charlotte. And then the winner of each of the segments will advance to the final race, which will determine the winner, which is Cup Series at Atlanta. So it's going to be fun.
Wow, so it looks like Xbox is gonna have we're gonna have our first All-Star race. The Xbox Series will be having ours at 8:00 Eastern. Then PS4 League will be right after we finish. So look forward to that. The Xbox Series, we are racing for a $25 Xbox gift card and possibly an Xbox Live Gold gift card we can give to Cole Custer fan so he can start running races again.
Poor
So
kid.
hopefully, that could work. God, Cole Custer fans like Richard Petty Motorsports. If one of us wins, he gets to race again. It helps his funding.
Yeah.
Think about it.
Oh, poor kid. He's such a respectable
Poor
driver.
Cole Custer fan.
Effing
All right, boys.
Jet.
I'm back.
Well, you came back just in time. We're wrapping it up.
Oh
So,
no, I want to show you my Tony Stewart fanaticism real quick.
oh, okay.
I couldn't find my hat still, which makes me sad.
Watch him have murdered Tony Stewart have his body.
Yes, I do. What?
He has him dressed in a Nigerian prince outfit.
Okay, so this is random. Head.
Very nice. I have that.
That's pretty cool.
Uh,
I don't
I have
have
this
that.
bunch of like coffee thingies. I don't know what you call them.
Do you have
Thank you.
Rowdy? Do you remember NASCAR Bashers? Oh my god!
Oh
I
yeah,
have
I
those.
have a bunch of
I
those.
have one.
remember-
Hold on.
I hope I still have some in my basement.
Yo, I have I have a launcher. One of the things. Oh yeah, hang on a second. Right over here.
Where's my Tony one? I have a Tony one.
Well, never mind, it's broke. But here's the remains of a NASCAR Basher launcher that was used to launch the cars. It's just kind of, but there you go.
Dude, Rowdy, I
Oh, I
remember
can't
like back in
find mine.
2011, 2012, seeing commercials for that. I had so many of them. I had Dale Jr., Danica Patrick,
I can't-
Kyle Busch, Tony Stewart, and Carl Edwards. I don't know where they're at now.
I have Tony Stewart and
I don't
Ron
think
Newman
I have them anymore. I hope.
and Dale Jr.
I'll look later maybe to see if I have one remaining, but I do remember having those.
My little brother
Same
broke
as
all of mine. Like they would wreck apart, and I'm like, "There's a certain way you gotta put it back together." It's like, no, he just claps it together in his hands, like fixed, and it's broken into pieces.
Now they're really bashed. Oh shit, Rowdy's
Oh my
Allen's
God.
Jr. now.
Diet ginger ale,
I have a
Food Lion brand,
Diet Bill and Mike.
trailer thingy.
diet water, diet water. Well, if there's anything else that needs to be said before we wrap this up, my laptop's almost dead, so bonus.
Well, speaking of the leagues, we got
I'm
New
lagging
Hampshire
right
and
now.
North America for the Xbox League Friday night. What's the Smoke
Yes.
Racing League got? I know the playoffs are starting for the PS4
Yep.
League.
First two races of the round of five, first two races,
Right
the
now.
playoffs. Atlanta and Iowa, both in Xfinity. I love Iowa, so I am pumped up for it. But
I
anyway,
despise Iowa. I tested
I
it
Yeah,
love
good
Iowa.
for
How
and
can you
sucked.
hate Iowa?
Iowa's so much fun. You
I
run the
can't
top, you're fast. You run the bottom, you fast. You run the middle, you're fast.
I'm not
It's so
fast,
much
ever.
fun.
I can't run that track.
I
I'm
love
sorry.
running the top at Iowa. Iowa is like the only track in Heat 3 you get giant runs off the top.
Oh yeah. You know why? Because it's a dirt track.
Hold on, I gotta
Anyone
find my
who's been on a
flashlight.
call with us in previous times knows the dirt racing.
Oh yeah.
No, yeah, we all do.
The dirt racing.
When I'm commenting the Iowa race for Xbox Series, every time you go to the top, I'm just gonna say, "Look at Tyler Ray. I mean, Orca Flop. Run that top side. What a dirt racer he is."
No, we only mess with the broadcast when it comes to the Dart Series. Speaking of which, there's a Dart Series racing this week.
Oh, I think I might go ahead and just run the 50 laps by myself and take those 33 points for the win. Thank you.
Wow, hey,
I just realized under my tab, this still shows
Rowdy,
in
you
Discord.
can already tell with that Dirt Series, Hayden is developing that league to the future.
No, I gotta tell you something. Red Byron is making his own dirt league and already has like 7 people signed up.
Oh, wait, he's getting more people than Hayden got.
Yes.
in Dirt League.
Yeah. Well,
That's quite sad.
on that note, if anybody has any last thoughts before my laptop dies, I would like to end the stream on our own terms.
All right, but before
All right.
you end the stream, I gotta play something. It's
Oh,
nothing
boy.
bad, trust me.
Remember, like
Oh,
last
okay.
season, all we would do is just fuck around at the end of every live stream.
Yeah.
Those the days.
Wait, y'all, look at this. Amazingness.
Ah, very
Look
hot.
at that
All right,
sexy
guys.
being right there.
Rowdy, we will end the stream as soon as this is done playing. Here we go.
Oh, I know what it is. I know what it is.
This is gonna be our new outro.
Oh, yes, I definitely know what it is.
All right, here we go.
All I have to say is Lewis Hamilton.
That's what I was thinking too. I just want
All
to
right, here we go. Outro.
Yep.
There you go.
There we go. I think we leave on that note. Thank you guys so much for watching. Until next time, LewisHamilton.jpg. We will see you all next Tuesday. And don't forget to tune in to the All-Star races for both leagues tomorrow night. Xbox at 8 p.m. Eastern Time and PS4 at 9 p.m. Eastern Time. Thank you guys so much for watching. We'll see you all soon.